I'd like to read you Mrs. William Snowshoe's letter. And he wrote me this a year after I had left the school. I'm writing a few lines to tell you that I'm well and happy in school. I hope you're well and happy. I had a nice time at Christmas. There are 42 boys in school this year and 56 girls too. Please write back to me if you have time. I'm glad that I came back to school. I went to grade 3 in January. Some boys are catching rat. I like school because I like to learn. Lots. I'm glad to write to you. Willie Firth caught 3 muskrats, and William Blake caught 26 rat. They never called them muskrats. I must close now. Goodbye from William Snowshoe. And I have all kinds of them like this. And Willie Firth, by the way, I have his picture here somewhere. He wrote to me until 1944. He's dead now, I understand. But Willie kept in touch, with what was going on. And his father, or would it be his grandfather, was a very striking-looking Englishman with a little white beard. And he married an Indian woman at Fort McPherson. And perhaps you remember a few years back, I don't know how the years go so quickly, but there were 2 Firth girls who were great skiers, and they were in the Olympics. And they represented Canada in the Olympics overseas somewhere. They didn't come first, but they were very good. And they were aunts or cousins or something of Willie. Mm-hmm.
That's neat. What about their own language and culture?
Well, now this is the point. Why people... I in one of my letters or diaries or something, I said, well, the public found fault with us for teaching them English, not allowing them to speak their own language. But these children, there were so many different languages, different areas had a different dialect, of all. And we had Eskimo children, Inuit children from as far away as King William Land. And they didn't get home, every year. A good number of them didn't. They were too far away from home. But you couldn't begin to, well, we didn't try, I guess, but I think when you read this about Roger, you'll see that it wasn't a mistake. The white world was moving in. And those people who the native people were going to have to do business with, and they certainly didn't speak all these different languages, so I can't see that as... of course, I think it's a shame that the native people in Canada were put on reserves and given some money and said, stay there. Those are the people that ruined the culture, their culture. And that, I think, that was one of the things that Bishop, I can't remember his name now, who started the schools up there, he realized that these people needed help to cope with what was coming in there. And I think that we had every reason and right to be there. We didn't mean to take away their culture, but they certainly we had to help them to adjust to ours. In those days, the Inuit people had to go where the food was, and they had no stable home. They lived in tents or igloos while they went hunting. And if there wasn't any food, they just couldn't stay there. They had to go out or go fishing or go whaling or whatever. And I don't know how long that would have lasted, but I'm sure it wouldn't have lasted forever. And why not help them to adjust? And that's what we were trying to do.
Did you, were there joyful times for the kids?
Oh, heavens, yes. There's all kinds of them. Well, in my,
Which one are you looking
yes,
at? This one?
no, one of these, yes. Well, I don't know which one
okay.
to look at. The children all wrote to me about the fun that they were having, you know,
Yeah.
and the things they did. And I had so many of them. I don't know exactly where the one is about what, after I left, the children had scouts and cubs and Girl Guides and brownies, you know. And then we had Church Boys League, where they learned about the Anglican Church and the different missions and so forth. And this boy wrote and said, in the Church Boys League, Miss So-and-so comes and came and told us about George Washington Carver. And then the next week, Miss Punter came and told us about something else in the world, you know. And Mr. Shepherd told us about fishing out, you know, out here, and different things like that. They had a really good, I think, loss for words, but background, you know, and that. The girls wrote me too. I didn't have very much to do with the girls, except I supervised the supper every night in the dining room. And the girls used to. There were four of the little girls. Well, they weren't so little, who adopted me as mother. They called me Mother Crocker. And they'd write me notes and bring me little gifts and this sort of thing. And I have some of them here. Naomi, she went back to your daughter, not Naomi, Lila Alika. And she wrote this when she was going home with her people. And I'll write again to you sometime. Well, goodbye, your daughter, Lila Alika. I'll write back. I write this when we start from a clavic. And she did write, like, St. Andrew's Mission Copper Mine, and then she went on. When I leave my mother and father, I cry lots of time. Goodbye, Mother Crocker, from your darnter, D-A-R-N-T-O-R, Lila Alika. Oh, this is when she got married. I'm sorry. That's why she cried. Apparently, she married very young, and this was the letter that she told me about it. She said, just a few lines for now. Oh, I wish to see you very much. I'm married with his name is Luke Novolakak. When we were married, we had lots of fun. My father is sick. There are not, I don't know what this is. My mother is well, and my sister and brother all well now. When I leave, I think she means leave, my mother and father. When I leave my mother and father, I had cried lots of times. Goodbye, Mother Crocker. Apparently, he was a lot older than she, and her parents married her off too. So I don't know whether that's the sort of thing that you want to know, but...
That's fascinating. To your knowledge, and we've heard different things about this, were the children ever physically punished, beaten, or anything else in the schools?
I must tell you, the only one I ever spanked was little Angus, and he deserved it, and he didn't hold it to me. I picked up Angus at Fort Simpson on our way down the Mackenzie River. The trip took us 21 days on a paddle wheel steamer. This was in 1937. And when I got to Fort Simpson, the clergyman there asked me if I would take this little boy, aged 2, to the school. His mother was not married and she couldn't look after him. So I had no choice. I did. And what was I can't remember now why I was bringing. Oh, you asked about physical punishment. So when he got to be about 4 years old one time, I don't even remember what he did, but something or other he did. And I said, Angus, that's not right. So I took him into my bedroom and I spanked him. And he howled a minute, but he got over it very quickly. I wanted him to know that. But anyway, he was the only one that I ever put hands on.